Hey mamas, welcome to day 4 of our Postpartum Ab Challenge, 21 days, and we are on day 4. Again, make sure you're following this in order. Day 4 today is upper abs and obliques focused. So we're gonna start on our back and work on those upper abs and something called rib flare. That's a common problem in postpartum and pregnant women is just those ribs, the rib cage expanding and ribs flaring when we're doing overhead exercises or core work. So what we wanna do here is bring the knees over hips, deep diaphragmatic breath in, deep diaphragmatic breath out, letting the rib cage come down, close. Arms are gonna go to the ceiling and then we're gonna extend the arms back, trying to keep the rib cage down. Touch the thumbs if you can, and then bring it back up nice and slowly. This may not feel like much, but pay attention to what your ribs are doing. Are your ribs expanding? Is that upper rib cage, is your lower back lifting? If so, I want you to focus on, as you go overhead, try to close the rib cage. And if you find it starting to open, that's where you stop. Maybe it's here and then you bring it back up. But what we want to do is try to do this nice and controlled so that we really focus on keeping the ribs down throughout this movement, but also throughout any movement we're gonna do in the upper abs. And that's about as advanced as we're gonna get for the upper abs today. So what we're gonna do now is an oblique twist, drawing the navel in and up, arms wide, palms up. We're gonna anchor the shoulders and then drop the knees slowly to the front of the room, not quite to the floor. Bring them back over the hips. Same thing, other side. Now, as you rotate, you're doing from the upper spine and obliques. So we want to keep that shoulder anchored. So if you're lifting, you're going to lose that control in the obliques, and that's what we want to do here. It's not like the spinal twist that you would do in like a stretch class. This is oblique focus. So we're controlling the movement, moving really slow and intentionally, dragging the knees back up slowly. So we're never just kind of falling to the side. Great for spinal and hip mobility as well. You could feel that. Nice massage of the sacrum, the tailbone. A couple more here. Should feel really good. And again, nice and controlled. All right, we're gonna keep moving. This time we're gonna do a modified forearm plank, side plank variation. So we're gonna take the forearm at 90 degrees, line the hip up with the forearm, keep the bottom leg bent and top leg straight. Let's extend through that bottom hip and then reach through the top arm. So we lift here, here, through the obliques, and through the arm. That forearm on the bottom is also supporting you. Everything is in a straight line from bottom elbow to top wrist. You can look toward that hand. If you prefer, you can also put your hand on your hip. We're just holding it here, and we're going to just take some nice diaphragmatic breaths, focusing on drawing the navel in and up and closing that rib cage. Keep reaching with that top hand if you've got it up. Keep pushing that bottom hip up to lift toward the ceiling. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna move now to a pulse. So we're gonna stay with this leg bent, keep the top leg extended, same side. We're gonna lift, pulse, just up and down about an inch or two. Exhale on that pulse. This is our shallow breathing we're implementing right here. So if you remember from day 1, shallow breath work, exhale on the lift, drawing the belly in and up, engaging that TVA. So this is deep core, but we're also working those obliques with that side plank lift, that side plank variation. And if you've got DR, diastasis recti, side planks are so important for loading the core in a way that's not stressing the midline, the linea alba of the body, of the core. So we're letting that muscle tissue heal and also getting it stronger. Nice. Okay, we're gonna do that same thing other side. So flip around, set it up so your forearm is at 90 degrees, elbow and hip are in a line, bottom leg bent, top leg straight. Exhale, lift. Again, focus first on that bottom hip, pressing it up, pressing through the forearm, lifting through the top hand, or putting the hand on the hip. Whatever feels more comfortable. Let's start those breaths. Drawing the navel in and up every time. You don't have to fully breathe through the belly here. You can see I'm not doing that. I'm keeping that core brace, but every time I exhale, focusing on lifting, drawing in, keeping everything engaged here. And every time I'm exhaling, I'm doing so through pursed lips. And that's gonna help you, again, connect to your deep core and pelvic floor here. All right, same thing, we're gonna add the pulse this time. Lift and then pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Now make sure you're not rotating the hips. You might a little bit, that's okay. But try as best as you can, keeping the hips square, lifting through the underside of the waist to lift. Pursed lip, exhale on that pulse. If it gets intense, close your eyes. I like to do that. Kind of take you out of the moment. Good, keep going. We're almost there. I know it's getting intense. This is the last thing we're gonna do today. Awesome, we did it. Day 4, done. So be sure to stay tuned for day 5. I've got more awesome core workouts ahead, and I will see you then.